I don't think I've ever seen many
I don't think anybody's gotten to 35, but I know...
That would be bonkers if it did.
Yeah, because several... I know a couple have gotten in, like, to 29, 30. All right, so we've got a slight difference here, but Xander with a bit of the early start, but the wall bonk there, so... you'll see these players each jumping the cracks here to cut off, to help shave time. As an optimized game as Mario Kart 64 is, every little advantage you can do helps. So first real challenge here is, okay, Xander's timing wasn't thrown off by that little wall bonk, and he was able to go inside the penguin, which does show early on that Xander's got a bit of a lead. He had a bit better timing there. So yeah, 0.35 lead. So I will say, I think Xander's big crack jump there. So the second crack jump you'll see them do heading towards the cave wasn't as aggressive as breaknrox. So that's definitely a place where he's going to make up a little time.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see how aggressive they do go. Whether they say that was a little bit more conservative on that jump.
breaknrox, that's going to make up a solid 0.05, and that was 0.1 faster. So definitely cutting into his deficit there.
Yeah, so a bit more aggressive there from Xander, and Brox is about the same. So yeah. It's definitely interesting to see how aggressive they go throughout the rest of the match. And breaknrox hits.
Okay, so Xander just got to stay clean. Xander's just got to stay clean, and this is barring any last penguin shenanigans. This will be track 1 to Xander. Track 1 to Xander.
That's pretty unfortunate because Rox is just inching his way back ever so slightly too.
Yeah, so. I think that he was definitely on pace. Though I mean, Xander did have his best lap. A 28 is quite strong compared. So he definitely put a pretty good finish there. Right. So they have selected Koopa Troopa. They have selected Calamari Desert. I hope we see Koopa Troopa Beach. I wouldn't mind seeing these competitors doing some cave jumps, but we are headed to the desert. Yeah. Calamari Desert, similar to Sherbert Land here, is one of the very cycle-dependent tracks. So at their level, they'll have no trouble, but it can be really important for, as you're getting up in your Mario Kart 64 skill, is whether or not you can beat the train lap 2, and then whether or not you can beat the train in lap 3. So the first train on lap 2 is kind of the first time barrier, and the second train on lap 3 is the next big one. We actually saw Matthias Drostemeyer hit the train at the end of lap 3, so by kind of cutting in a little tight earlier today. So definitely something to watch out for is making sure they're beating that train lap 3. I'm interested to see if they go with the 102 shroom strat that we saw out of Division 1 today, or if they go with a different shroom strat.
And it's simply just a matter of being a couple of hundred seconds off to throw you out of your cycle.
Absolutely.
So one little mistake, and it can be pretty costly for them. So, yeah.
All right, so they're both going with the
so
breaknrox is we'll have to see how he adjusts here. That's going to be interesting.
So it's going to throw his cycle out now. I don't know how he's going to adjust his cycle at the moment, because he's definitely going to be in the
maybe just plan to drive. Maybe just plan to drive good enough that he can beat. The nice thing there is he should be able to beat the train lap 2.
Lap 2 will be fine. It'll be lap 3 that's going to be the hard one. The
worst case, I mean he's down 0.8 there. But what he can do at the very worst, he might have to shroom here to beat this train. Let's see.
Yep, and does and misses. Yeah.
Doesn't again. So that's what we were saying. That's kind of your first time barrier is beating that train.
And usually
So
for the lesser ranked guys, such as myself and yourself, we'd shroom across where they did those hill hops at the start, so we get that extra time advantage. But they try and save their shrooms for the end of lap 3. But
yeah,
which you're probably going to see Xander do that here.
You find that they're
kisses the sand a little bit there.
He's probably going to do the same thing we saw. Yeah, he's going to go ahead. So they have this shroom rhythm there where they spend enough time jumping.
So it's probably only a train hit here for Xander that's gonna undo him, which I think he's gonna beat the train fine.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Good. So, all right. With that,
I would comfortably say Xander's gonna.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I've gone ahead and give him the point there. So, Xander looking really, really clean. I'm curious to see. It's. I was gonna say I'm curious to see, but it's hard to even see comparisons just because their strats were so forcibly different. So now we're gonna head on over to the farm. So breaknrox has picked Moo Farm. So curious again to see if either of them, if breaknrox especially is feeling a little bit of pressure and wants to go
with a high variable track or variance track. Yeah.
Well, more importantly, does he want to go with a track, a line? So Moo Farm is a track that the lines you take on world record, you're driving over several more mole holes than you'll see. The first big one is on the first right-hand turn. They will go wide and dodge the moles, most likely. But we could see breaknrox say maybe he's feeling a bit of pressure and decides to drive over the moles there and save that 0.2 time that you can get from driving over those.
Yeah, he's probably. I don't know.
My guess is he's going to stay. Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to stay safe.
Super aggressive just yet. Xander definitely missing. Yeah. Rock's a little bit wider there, but one mole hit and it's.
One mole hit. A mole hit is a solid 2 seconds.
Yeah. I know. Rox won't be watching the stream. He doesn't usually watch them. Xander's got his phone up here, so I don't know whether he'd be watching this either. So,
just about 0.4.
Yeah. So if one of them makes a big mistake, the other one's not actually going to know if they do. So you're probably going to see some pretty aggressive driving, regardless. I think, which is pretty good to see.
So now, Moo Farm. I was going to call it Mole Farm because that's just what we lovingly call it, or unlovingly. So one thing that is interesting, you see them struggling a little bit. Moo Farm has incredibly uneven terrain, and so the best lines can be quite difficult. breaknrox. That's. No way that's a PB from Xander. He cleared his cartridge.
He's only been playing on PAL recently, so I'll look that up.
But no, going that wide. There's no way that those were not god level strats.
Yeah. $127.81. No, he's got a 127.81.
Right.
So he was pretty close. He was pretty close.
So, not bad, I guess. Yeah, just 0.4.
Yep.
That is actually what I was going to call this out. I'm glad he said it. My research. One of the places they have the largest difference is Mario Raceway.
Yep.
And so on such a short track, for the difference that they have, it's actually quite surprising. And so I am not surprised to see Xander picking Mario Raceway here.
So yeah, definitely putting the pressure right back onto Rox now. Really needs 3 good mushroom cuts and 3 good shrooms. So
I'm curious to see here. You know, we saw earlier today at the Division 1 level, they were taking the mushroom cuts. And I'm curious to see if they do that here. What kind of strats are they doing? Or maybe breaknrox plays it safe and says the way he takes this is by letting Xander make the mistake. So what we're talking about here is there's the giant mushroom on the hairpin. You will see them either go to the left or the right of, or outside or inside of the mushroom. And it's a pretty big time save to go inside, but it is certainly risky going inside. The one time this track was played earlier today, we saw the Division 1 peoples going inside. Xander's going inside. All right. So this is certainly the chance for one big mistake there at that shroom cut can change everything.
yeah, so two really clean mushroom cuts there. So it's a really good start for Rox.
Yep. Let's see. 30:04 to ooh. Xander is playing a little catch up right now. Yeah, right there. I mean,
that's the one. That's huge.
Yep.
So
just need break to get a clean last one. This is where, to your point, if somebody was watching and listening, they might be able to be enough to see that. Oh, but that was a really bad bonk from Xander. I mean, he's going to be. They're talking
so
6 seconds there.
Nearly 7, yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking. Break needs a catastrophic bonk here, and through clean, and that should be Break's point. Yeah. There's only one more. He could go wide left here, hit the wall. Nope, that's a clean win for him.
So a bit of a sloppy second lap, because of that mushroom.
Yeah,
where
that tap the wall.
Yeah,
otherwise it was quite clean. And if you're wondering how his best record is 9 seconds faster than what we just saw, which was pretty clean driving, those are shortcut times. So you won't be seeing anything like that potentially. We'll see. And you know I'm going to do it to you, Darcy. You want to build a snowman?
Love to. Yep. Absolutely.
We are going to head off to Frappe Snowland. Let's break his point. Sorry for the slight delay there. But yeah, so this is a pretty high variance track in terms of just one spot, and that's where they do the shroom. So they're going to shroom over a mountain, basically, or a hill, and jump off the other side. And depending on their landing, there are several snowmen who have explosives inside of them. Who puts explosives inside of a snowman? I don't know.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
So they're going to have to work their way around those, and it's really, that shroom jump separates, a good run from a bad, and it just takes one bad shroom to, end the track basically for you. So,
and you can also, if you're a bit too far left as well, you'll clip into the out of bounds area, and that'll also,
I wouldn't expect to see either of them out of bounds. They should have enough control that they'll play it safe. So both of them starting with that AB spin. So it's kind of a weird start where they're basically heading backwards, it feels. But we're coming up to our first shroom jump here. So again, you'll fly up the hill. Xander with an incredibly clean landing. Breaknrox would probably take that. Like, I think you're pretty happy with that in general for a one try. A bit of snow.
Still looked pretty good, yeah.
I certainly, I mean, you want what Xander got, but I think you're happy with what breaknrox got there. And it sounds like our special guest commentator is trying to speak up as well.
Yeah. If he had better words, I'm sure he'd be able to tell us what's going on. But I think he was trying to say that Xander's got a 0.3 lead on.
He does have a 0.3 lead right now. So yeah, right there. If you're a little bit farther left than either of them, again, Xander with incredibly clean landing and breaknrox doing just about the same as he did in the first lap. So I would expect probably about another 0.3, 0.25 difference here. Xander kind of needing to hit a snowman for a 0.5.
So it's stretched out to beyond half a second, or it's about a 0.8 lead, I think.
Yeah. So you're looking at now, you're really needing a pretty big mistake from Xander. Now there is a quirk. It's never happened to me. I don't know if you've ever lost a run to it, but you can just fall through the bridge at the end. Oh, Xander with the right. It was pretty clean. That was definitely advantage breaknrox, but I think that's going to be enough to go Xander. Oh, that wall hit. That's pretty much going to seal it unless Xander falls through the bridge, and he doesn't. So, yeah, pretty good one there. So Xander.
So yeah, really solid start of the course or start of the set for Xander. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Really nice clean driving. So. Excellent. Cooper Trooper Beach coming up now. One thing with this, breaknrox in his last few matches has clipped out of bounds. In
falling through the cave.
Falling through the cave. So where the little cave, it's not technically a skip, it's a part of the actual course. He'll do a mini turbo slide up the ramp, and if you get just a little bit too far left or right, you can actually accidentally clip out of bounds, and he's had it happen in 2 races in a row so far. So I wonder if the meme is going to continue on this.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate for sure. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, for as amazing of a game as Mario Kart 64 is, some of the boundaries don't do what you would hope. And certainly some of our amazing taskers have recently just broken this game absolutely wide open. Have you heard that they just found a new task-only shortcut on Moo Farm? That was just announced like late last night, early today.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah. So apparently Weatherton found another new shortcut, which is exciting. So what you're going to see here is this track is basically one feature, and it's how you handle this jump right here. And Xander is not looking very clean coming into it. So breaknrox, both of them having to go to the right of the trees there. There's that little clump of 3 trees that you can go to the left of and have a better line. So breaknrox with the early lead here. Xander having a bit of trouble, and maybe in the sun and not worrying about driving. He needs to worry about keeping his cart going the right way.
Yep,
Xander taking the most aggressive line there in that tree.
And he hits.
Oh, okay. So this is now. Let's see, can Xander pull off the miracle? Oh.
Nah.
All right, so break it.
And he goes too hard.
And then he jumps over. All right, so this is basically. breaknrox just needs to. Always impressive when they can do that. I definitely just drive around.
There's almost a chance to lap him there, I think, nearly rock.
All right, and that's definitely going to do it for breaknrox. So Hey, you know, trying to take a little seafood dinner home with you. Those crabs spinning out.
Seafood's getting expensive. Might as well.
All right. Okay, so I think other ones that I think Xander, there it is. Xander keeps picking the tracks right as I'm about to say them. Royal Raceway is where we're headed next. This was again the other one where there's the largest time difference between these two, and we'll see how much Xander flexes his superior Royal Raceway skill here. How risky of lines he takes, but there is a what was it? Almost 1.4 second difference in PRs here. So this is definitely Xander's track to lose, but there are certainly failure points along the way. I don't know, what would you say the lowest variance track is?
Oh, Luigi Raceway for sure. Yeah.
You think that? Like, I thought about that, but at the level these guys are doing, they're starting to go for mystery boosts. Like, mystery boosts can make or break you.
I think I go for the mystery boost as well.
I need to learn the mystery boost.
I don't think it's overly difficult. It's just trying to get the right timing. That's all.
So, I mean,
but apart from that, that's probably the lowest variant. Maybe Wario Stadium.
I was gonna say Wario Stadium. I think is probably lowest. As Raceway, Rainbow Road, you've got the Tran, the Tran and the Chumps, but the Tran is was. So you'll see them both here jumping around that corner. So if you've ever wondered about, shortcut versus non-shortcut, the big distinction is whether or not you're having to go past a guardrail. So here, just cutting off sections of grass and like driving here, as we see, is not a shortcut. The most confusing one to the uninitiated is certainly Yoshi Valley. If we get there for a Yoshi Valley race, we will explain the hairpin and how a young Nantuko was not happy that this didn't count as that it counted as a non-shortcut. But once you learn it, the hairpin's a lot of fun. But coming here, you see pretty clean laps all around. But yeah, that early lead for Xander. He was a bit more aggressive on this hairpin that they're both coming back up to. That was an incredible hairpin, and breaknrox bonking the wall there, but that can actually sometimes be a benefit. That was probably pretty neutral wall bonk, but Xander had an absolutely amazing jump. So again, picking up a little time there. Playing it safe. You can hug that wall a little bit tighter. And now these boost pads, you might be wondering why they're drifting on these boost pads. These boost pads are treated like shrooms. In Mario Kart, there has a quirk of the game. You actually go faster drifting and shrooming at the same time. So if you drift while you're shrooming, you go faster. Both having kind of not great jumps there at the end, but again, Xander just extending his lead. Gonna need a major mistake from Xander to not take this track. And passing that hairpin took away the most likely source of that major mistake.
Sorry, just attending to my child. I'm back.
No worries, that's important. I can feel when you're not around and I talk more.
Yeah,
maybe I just.
I'm muting in between, so.
No worries. You're pretty good at interjecting and getting me to shut up. So when I feel you're there, I feel the dead space. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, cool.
So all right, again, last real chance here for Xander to make a major mistake and finishes off clean. So that one is going to go to Xander.
So I imagine Rox Oh no, Xander just played.
Oh no, this is just again. There's a second and a half difference between their PRs here, so I'm not surprised that.
Just looking at their matchups on the players page, yep. Rox only has the one time that's better than Xander's, so it's probably going to be a hard task for Rox to get outright wins with, just by pure driving. He's going to have to rely on.
I mean, he's got a couple of good close ones. So I guess those are a lot of flap. Yeah, he's got several. Luigi Raceway is probably a pretty good one. There's only a 0.2 difference there on raw skill. Best. Frappe Snowland's also only 0.3. Like those level of differences, you can actually you can lose that from minor mistakes. But
yeah,
something like a Wario Stadium, I wouldn't be surprised if Xander picks a Wario Stadium where he's got a 1.6 lead, or the dreaded Rainbow Road.
It's almost 2 seconds, 1.95 on Wario Stadium. So.
Oh, you're looking at the 2020 site. I'm looking at the.
No, I'm looking at the players page. Yeah, not the 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as well. Am I just?
Anyway. It's significant. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think Bowser's Castle is a great pick, just because of as we've seen, the Thwomps are deadly monsters. So.
And we saw Matthias in the NTSC match earlier versus Calamari. Not used to the cycles. Hit once and then it's
hit again. Yeah, once you get off your cycle, it's really hard to know. You do that MT off the drop right after the spiral.
Yeah, I slide off. Yeah.
I need to work on that MT. So this again, going back to Xander going risky. Ooh, Xander.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I was just gonna say Xander was going risky. You don't have to go inside that bush like he did. It's certainly faster, but you have a little less control. The line is much less forgiving, and a little mistake there costs him big. So we definitely gotta.
I think from here, Rox will get the easy cycle for the doorway thwomps, and then the sliding thwomps in the other room. I reckon that's an easy cycle too. So unless there's a catastrophic wall bonk or something like that, I reckon he should take this pretty comfortably.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not sure about the sliding thwomps. Those still feel. Those still feel RNG to me. I know they're not, but they feel it.
There's that bonk, but he gets this. He'll get that one pretty easy. Now
it's just making it through. Though Xander has definitely driven back. Having to take a pretty awkward line there. Gets nicely through the sliding thwomps and adjusts to the unknown timing.
Yeah.
But it is definitely interesting that there are times where driving faster just makes the track easier, just because you have better cycles. But
yeah,
Xander definitely putting together a pretty strong lap 3 here to close the gap. It's not going to be enough, but
so yeah, very consistent laps there. So and 3 seconds, different. That's the.
I mean that's the thwomp right there. That's just the thwomp. So. All right. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Rox leads 2-1. Mountain. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious when we're going to see the Wario Stadium pick. I do think that's a great pick for Xander. Looking at the players page, kind of thinking about what Alex or breaknrox is going to pick here. I do think that these higher variance tracks continue to make sense as the player who's got it, swinging up a little bit. Again, as you said, they're both undefeated, but Xander Xander's been driving a little all over the place the last little bit here, so I think picking something like a Yoshi Valley or a Toad's Turnpike might be in the cards for the next pick for breaknrox.
Yeah. Yeah, just put the pressure right back on him and see if he makes a mistake. So yeah.
So the big things to watch out for here is, as we will talk about in several tracks, Mario Kart 64's walls, whether or not they're straight or angled, is really important. So on a track like this that has angled walls everywhere, they want to eat you. If you touch a wall here, it is much more devastating than touching a wall in, say, like a Rainbow Road. There's that little piece that juts out before the tunnel and things. There's just several places that really want to, the Chocolate Mountain wants to eat you.
Yeah.
And another big thing here is here right at the end, these hills. So you saw Xander got much nicer hills where his car just flowed cleanly through them, whereas breaknrox bounced across the top. So Xander got what we call clean hills. That's really, really important on a track like this, that it saves probably 0.2, 0.3 just getting those clean hills.
He opens up about a 0.6 lead, so it's pretty significant early with the lead.
But again, hills can make all the difference. You can drive just as well. The hills it is within your control, but it's such minute details and things that it's incredibly hard to control. But what you will see them do is do empties into the hills to give you you need a little extra speed to try and get clean hills. But both bonking there, so advantage is still Xander here.
Yep.
So
Xander just clipping the wall there a little bit, so
breaknrox was a little late on his jump there to try to. So what you'll see them doing at this level is trying to. So in Mario Kart 64, you want to spend as much time as you can on the ground. So they will intentionally jump at the top of a hill like that to try and clip down, so they're not spending as much time. So, like I said, I feel like a Toad's Turnpike or Yoshi Valley is the kind of things that I would expect to see here. Exciting! We have our first Joker. I guess we hadn't touched on these. So, breaknrox has pulled out the Calamari Desert Flap Joker. So the way this works is they're going to waste one lap, and is treated like a normal pick. So something we didn't cover early on because it hadn't mattered yet is the way selection of tracks works. So each player picks from their own pool of tracks, and you can't pick the same track for the first or second set, and for the third and the fourth set. So on odd sets, your track list gets refilled. So picking Calamari Desert Flap means that we won't see Calamari Desert 3-lap again this set, unless one of them pulls out the shortcut. So shortcut means rather than doing your standard non-shortcut, you're going to do your shortcut attempt, and that Joker breaks all rules for track selection. You can pick, as long as it's your turn to pick, you can drop a shortcut Joker on any track you want.
Yep. Which you generally see the same shortcuts in most tracks. They usually just do the easiest shortcuts. A lot of them you don't see. A lot of the harder shortcut tracks.
Yeah.
So the difference on this track here, you'll see them shrooming over that hill hop area instead of doing just the standard hill hops, because they obviously want to try to use all their mushrooms on the one lap. So,
and now you might be wondering right here why. Doing that line going around. So because they knew they were using both shrooms there, it's actually faster to do an MT from the road. So when you're not going to shroom right off the edge there, you will let's see here, pull incredibly close. Xander by 0.14. All right, that was incredibly close. Great driving from both of them. Yeah, Xander putting down an incredibly nice time for, as Rock said it, for a one try, great time. So again, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Joker returned here, but
ooh, a close one.
Ooh. Yeah, incredibly close. No, interesting. Xander actually pulled out the pick that I was expecting to see from Rock, which is we're headed to Coast Turnpike. So this is always an interesting one. You know, at their skill level, they're usually not running into traffic or anything, but as we saw in the earlier match today, you know, a bad start can get you misaligned on things, throwing you off. So anything can happen on this track.
Yep.
So.
And again, it'll just be that, I think it'll just, between these two players with their skill level, it'll just be that cluster of traffic at the end, whether they want to try and go aggressive through it right at the finish line. So I think they'll have no problems. I think they'll have no problems.
Slow enough. They might be slow enough that it's actually lined up pretty nicely. Like that's one where it cycles from hard to easy to hard to easy, just depending on what second you get there at the end. Yeah. So we'll see. I certainly assume at this level, we'll see a shroom lap 2 inside the bus when we get there. Xander with the Xander slipping on his shroom, having to do his second hop to actually start his MT. Now, so normally when you see people MTing or mini turboing, what they're doing right now is sliding and charging up this rainbow smoke. Generally, you want to release your MT and glide. As you're about to see Xander here, you release your MT and you drive for a while. But when you're on a turn, it's way better to just jam out as many MTs as you can, because you want to stay as close to the wall. So right here where you'll see them both, they're going to start jamming out MTs at a much higher rate than they would on a straightaway.
Yeah, and you already see Xander's just hugging the wall, that fence guardrail, just a little bit tighter. So I would expect probably have a little bit of an advantage on him. Rock's using the shroom there, so
the timing's off. But Xander's still in the lead, even though he's up a shroom. So this is.
That's a really nice
shroom. Ooh, Xander bonked off the wall there, though. That was certainly going to cost him some time.
It looked really good up until he just touched that wall. So
right, but yeah, the walls here. I mean, they throw you in many directions, and it can be quite a bit to try to recover. breaknrox certainly has picked up time this second lap. Ooh, missing an MT there. So, and for those wondering, a normal MT on a straight line like he missed there, it costs you about 0.15. Dropping one of these MTs, where you're jamming them out pretty quick, costs you probably closer to 0.05. So, but yeah, Xander really showing his skill at hugging the.
Yeah.
Right, so they're.
Probably opened up about a 1 second lead, almost nearly.
Yeah, it's 0.8, I think, but yeah. Rox does have that shroom in his pocket, so we'll see when he uses that. But it's definitely Xander has really shown his skill on riding these guardrails. So yeah. I understand the pick now.
So I think the shroom around one of the turns, around one of those bends, will save you about 0.3, but it's definitely not enough to claw his way back, unless
no, it's definitely not 0.8.
So yeah,
basically, at this point, Xander, I mean, there's not even enough that micro time losses. The micro losses. breaknrox really needs a car hit here.
Oh, that was.
Oh, Xander, what are you doing? And so this is where I'm saying, like, if you notice, because of their timing differences, Rox had a much easier
finish
there, where just how the cars will lined up.
So, yeah, it stayed about that. It stayed about that 0.8 difference in the end. So
yeah,
a bit like 0.7, 0.6 actually, if I can do my math correctly.
Yeah, 0.6.
Yeah, math good. Go to school, kids. Learn your math.
Math is important. Right. So we are back to Rox. Your pick. Not quite sure why Xander's star is missing.
Select it and unselect it again. Oh, sorry, unselect it and select it again. Should come back up. There you go.
Yeah.
It's synced.
All right, looks like we are going on a ghost hunt and gonna head to Edgy Boardwalk. So Xander, I know, has also been grinding. I mean, Xander is probably the biggest grinder of this game right now at the high level. So I'm wondering if he pulls out the shortcut where he goes. I believe both players. Yeah, so both players do have mostly full shortcuts.
Yeah, breaknrox is definitely not as.
Yeah, his is not as polished. So I certainly think that's going to be one of the interesting picks to look at here. Is if and when does Xander drop his shortcut?
Yeah. But I think he'd be thinking he's definitely got the skill to beat him without the shortcuts. So
yeah, but maybe he wants to be nice to chat and see some, give some shortcut love. People love the shortcuts.
Maybe.
All right, so the big thing here is seeing how aggressively they take these crack jumps.
They're getting that extra mini turbo in, so.
Yeah, a little bit of a wall hit there for Rox. Xander having to jump there definitely lost a little bit of time, not getting the bit of drift that he normally would. But this turn right there into the ghost house is a really important one. You can bonk if your drift is just misaligned, and that costs at least a second if you get hung up there, if not more. Rox losing his MT. Yeah, 0.6 lead for Xander.
Already, yeah. So
for being incredibly tired, Xander is driving quite well tonight.
Yeah. There's one bonk by Xander, pretty sloppy little section there.
Yeah, Xander is gonna look back on that section, but clean through into the ghost house, and Xander. Oh, I was gonna say Xander was playing a little more aggressive with those walls, but Rox there on that last. So up to a full 1 second lead for Xander. So really needing to see a Toad take a drink here, to go for Toad to take a swim over on the right for Rox to have a chance. Or again, hitting this wall in clean, and I'd say this is done, but I mean, I've seen Yeah, pretty clean win there for Xander.
That was a killer last lap by him too. Like
Oh yeah.
almost 0.6 better than his second best lap. So yeah, he had a really good last lap. Finished strong.
So we'll see. I told Xander that chat wants shortcuts and Xander's not having it. So looks like we're heading back to the desert for the third time. Both players feeling comfortable here. Or maybe they're just big train enthusiasts. So let's see if breaknrox can redeem himself. Again, definitely had some minor mishaps first time around. So what I was saying before, comparing first lap, like flap to 3-lap, again, little nuances you'll see is when they go across the train tracks the second time, rather than cutting straight across the train and taking the closest line, they'll actually get back to the road and release their MT. The reason they do that is that the speed is greater than that. And so even though you're taking a less efficient line, the speed from releasing your mini turbo on the road is enough to make up for that. And the reason they don't do that in the flap is because you do a shroom right away, so you want the faster line. It's pretty cool, just the little idiosyncrasies, like where doing the same exact track, you do different things depending on when you're using a shroom or your skill level or things. breaknrox getting a little dusty there up on the road, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about, where they release the MT on the road. So let's see here, Xander. breaknrox again. Just he's getting a little dirty here driving on that side edge there. So I'd expect Xander to have a pretty good lead. Yeah, you're 0.7, so we're gonna see. I mean, this is breaknrox is gonna need to. We'll see if he runs into issues, and we have a slight. So let's see here. He looks like he's got the train beat, so that's good. Xander not being as clean here with his SSMTs. If you're wondering what an SSMT stands for, it's a straight stretch mini turbo. So that's when you see when they're going straight. Even there, breaknrox doesn't feel like he's got the timing to beat the train lap 3. So just
he'll know what pace he's on. So yeah.
I think it makes sense. So understandably, breaknrox, interesting. Not even feeling comfortable. Yeah. It doesn't cost that much time, but
Yeah, it's definitely in the tens of seconds to go to opt to go that way. So
right.
Yeah, right. It's probably going to be close, but Xander's obviously got the extra shroom up his hand. So
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it'll be. And actually thinking about it, Rox actually did that driving around so that he slowed himself down so that he'd get around the train cleanly.
Yeah.
That's again the skill level of these guys that's talking about that adjusting on the fly, like it just shows their skill.
And 1.3 time difference, I think that is. Yeah, about that. So that's just that extra shroom. So they were pretty much neck and neck going up to that last train, passing it, and then that extra shroom's just a massive bonus for Xander. So.
All right. All right. Sorry, I'm having just a little side chat with the racers here. You know. There it is. So, like I said, I've been waiting for this.
You just baiting the shortcut? I don't think
I am baiting the shortcut. Not even gonna get it. I'm trying, chat. I'm trying to get us these shortcuts. Give them those couple extra countdown to make sure they're ready. So we're headed to Yoshi Valley. I think this is a good pick. Though I will say Xander has been driving pretty clean. I personally would have liked to seen this pick a little earlier on, where Xander was driving a little sloppy. This is a track that again is cycle based with the spinies, and so it'll be interesting to see. So the best strategy is to go left and go through the giant pack of spinies and then drop down. But I'm curious to see if they're comfortable enough with their cycles and know their timing. If they get a little bit off of their, personal pace, do they go left all 3 times? I suspect they will, but we might see one of them take.
I think Rox has gone left each match so far, so
Right.
Yeah, I can't imagine why I'd be going right now. So.
It's more about if your timing gets off, right? If you have a little bit of a sloppy lap there, it can really throw off your timing for knowing the line you got to take.
Yeah.
And this is a track where that's the lap 1 is pretty easy. Xander with a couple of wall hits there. Rock's definitely ahead. So, and like I was saying, this jump there, because you are technically not crossing over any walls or barriers or things, it is considered a not a shortcut. Again, much to the chagrin of new Mario Kart 64 players. So, Xander pulling back a little bit of the lead. Oh,
just didn't quite have the approach.
Yeah, and so that's where. It's not over yet, though.
No.
Those spinies are
tough, yeah.
Right. I was gonna say lap 3 spinies are the hardest for sure. And so we'll see. breaknrox is definitely at high risk here, not knowing the timings, not having the lines just baked into his where he's gonna go. But let's see here. It only takes a little bit of a mishap.
Yeah, and he
Xander's through clean. Yeah, I was gonna say that's where I was like, this is
hit. So Rox probably could have picked it back if he went the riskiest track, but not quite. Yeah.
I mean,
jump.
Yeah, doing what he can. And then you'll see them here at the end, rather than going all the way up to the flag, it is faster just to drive across the grass. So, all right.
So you can see from lap 1 to lap 3, it's about almost 2 seconds to go. That's safer option. So even if Rox had went the riskier way, probably still almost nearly a second away. So.
Yeah. All right. Now let's see if Rox can survive 4 match points in a row.
But yeah, this is a pretty dominant Div 2 display. I know a lot of the Div 1 guys were trying to get Xander to play in Division 1. So I think he's right in that real middle section of probably too good for Div 2, maybe not just good enough for Div 1. So
yeah, it's a shame. It's a good thing we don't have anybody like that in Dev 3 right now. Nobody in Dev 3 that's there. Cough, cough, Gator, cough, cough.
He's close. I'm catching him, though. I'm bloody catching him.
You know, hey, and I've got to say, your pal boost there certainly. Have you played Gator yet? Have you had your match?
I did, yeah. No, he smashed me.
But you were pretty early on there, weren't you?
Yeah, it was. So he got like 50 or so ranks jump on me early on, and then I've pegged him back since. But yeah, he's way much better than me for sure.
I mean, he does have his first god time already. But so coming back here, I think this is a great pick from Xander going back to Royal Raceway. This was we saw a pretty dominant performance where Xander's really just got to drive pretty clean. Timing's a bit off here, but definitely the thing to watch for is just, if Xander, pretty clean jump there and not as clean for breaknrox. Xander is all over the road. Xander, what you doing, buddy? That certainly cost him probably close to half a second. I would expect to see.
And that's a really significant one.
Nasty. Remember, Xander started almost 5 seconds ahead, and this is.
Yeah, so it's probably nearly lost maybe a second or half a second.
If not more, between both of those. Pretty catastrophic mistakes.
So
he's a full second behind.
Second difference, yeah.
So and breaknrox can that's about what Xander was doing per lap on him. So the pressure is certainly on. This is I would say breaknrox track to win now. Xander is it's always frustrating. A track like that, it gets under you a little bit. And taking that corner just a little tight and hitting grass. Oof. breaknrox doing the same. Recovering really nicely though.
And enters the grass a bit too early there, I reckon. So that'll cost him a little bit.
Yeah. So definitely, Xander, I would say definitely picked up some time, but he hasn't picked back up a second yet. Not even close. Maybe 0.5 here, so.
Oh, I tell you what, actually, nearly does pick up that second, yeah.
Yeah. So he's 0.2. breaknrox is working with 0.2 here, and a pretty slow.
Oh, that's bad.
Ooh. Yeah, so we need to see another mistake from Xander now. This is another wall bunk. So, all right, coming in here, Xander's definitely made back up his time, and I think that's definitely. All right, seems like both of our players are pretty tired. Great match, though. It goes to show, when Xander is on, he's going to be pretty tough to beat in Division 2. breaknrox definitely capitalized on several mistakes. So. And you know, definitely shout outs to Xander. He did this all while having 102 fever. So, you know, good jobs for him, and you know, for pushing through and giving us a great match. And
it's a really good effort to have a fever. Who knows? Might even be coronavirus, but
hopefully not.
To do all that and still pull off a pretty solid match. That's really nice from Xander.
So, all right. So I need to check. Yeah, Xander's gonna head to bed. So I think let me ping. Now, because you got a match starting. When does your match start up? In like just a couple minutes here. I know it's not on stream, but you got a match coming up here.
Anytime in the next hour, yeah. I've just got to get the young fella to sleep, and I'll do my match in between that. So
there you go.
Yeah. And he's tired too, so hopefully go to sleep real quick.
Good. Yeah, so I think I need to get my stream set up, and I think we should be setting up for the double header here. Certainly at the very, very latest in the next half hour. But yeah. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm not exactly sure. Originally, we were scheduled for it to be over on SpeedGaming 5. It might be on SpeedGaming 3. We'll see. But expect to see another Mario Kart 64 match. I will be racing against Schlongster, and the ever amazing Carson will be commentating. So should be a good one. Interested to see. I've been training Schlongster this week, and so I'm expecting a good match there. Should be a lot of fun. So be looking out for that in the next 10-ish minutes. So I've got to step off, and we're not sure. We're figuring out which ones, but definitely be on the lookout for that if you're looking for more Mario Kart. Otherwise, from the Mario Kart community, thanks for hanging out. Big congratulations to Xander, and big thanks to Dulcie, breaknrox, and Xander for helping put on such a great match. So
yeah,
thanks everybody. We will. Oh, you're still here.
So.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I thought you had stepped off, but yeah. So again, be on the lookout for that next match. Thanks everybody.